too. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I picked the fourth vital behavior because it's actually something that I've been thinking a lot about lately. And Jasaira is like lighting this fire in my butt lately. And so she kind of like inspired me to think about different ways I can help inspire my team by using this. And so I'm going to share just some things that I've worked with this past 6 months to a year, because I was having trouble with like my team culture because my team has like doubled. My coaches that I had signed in the beginning, I don't know if anyone else has these issues, they kind of feel this like ownership to me. And as the team gets bigger, they're like, things feel different. Like, I don't get as much of your time. I don't like it. There's all these new people, you know? And so I wanted to think of different ways to make everyone feel special, but at the same time, make it work into my schedule. And so like the one thing I try every day is I get up and I say like, you know, like whose life can I change today? Who can I make feel special today? Because I know how it makes me feel good when I'm getting recognized. So I'm going to talk about my team, and then I'm going to talk about challengers a little bit too. So, you know, I'm sure you guys seen this quote, but I want to inspire someone. I want someone to look at me and say, because of you, I didn't give up. And that's what I feel like we do as coaches. I tell my team all the time when they're like, well, how do you describe what we do? And I say, my job is to like find people who don't realize how awesome they are and help them become awesome and realize that they're awesome. You know, I'm here to believe in you until you're strong enough to believe in you at the same time. And that's what recognition, I think, really does. When I signed up as a coach, I was thinking about it for a while, but I didn't say anything to my coach because I was like, who is ever going to be inspired by me? I'm not at my goal weight. I don't know anything about health and fitness, all those things that run through your mind. So my coach actually said to me, hey, have you thought about doing this to get a discount? You're really motivating in the group. In my heart, I was like, yes, but I was waiting for her to believe in me. And I always say to her, like, thank you for believing in me until I was ready to believe in me. And I think about how we can do that for other people every day. So the first thing that I think is really important is finding out what motivates other people. So if you, let me move this little box. If this is from Danny Johnson Gems, if you like, don't look into Danny Johnson's stuff, it's really helped me with my business. But you know, there's 4 personality types. I'm a very strong Ruby, secondary Emerald. And so I know, and my husband is an Emerald. So now I know exactly what is going to motivate him. I know that he will only meal prep with me if I make it really pretty and like organized, and he gets to put his, like he sent me a picture today of his containers, and I'll show you, like stacked up saying, look how nice my stack looks. Like he likes things in order like that. And so I think what's important about either your team or people you're around or your challengers is you have to know what motivates them. So I encourage you to take this picture, take a screenshot or whatever, and post it in your team page today and just ask them like, hey, where would you see yourself? Or even put it up on your social media and ask people on your Facebook. And it gives you kind of an idea, because if you see that first line, what their perfect gift is. I mean, wouldn't that be awesome if you've not read like the Love Languages book, you know, like to know how people like to receive some sort of recognition. For some of my team, like they really like shiny gifts and name brand stuff. And the problem, not problem, but what I was hitting with my team is a lot of women who just, they love the community of it all. They don't really need the money, and they just really like being around other people, and it makes them feel good type of a thing. And so it was hard for me as someone who's a Ruby, who's like, go, 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 to figure out how to inspire and recognize them in a way that they felt appreciated. So the first thing I think is important is knowing what motivates you and knowing how other people are motivated. So like I said, not just your team, but other people on social media. And so I'll kind of give you that call to action, that challenge today, to maybe ask your team, you know, like where they see themselves. Because I also think it will help you communicate with them better and speak their language. So here are some things that I kind of, you know, do daily. And the one thing I want to make sure you know about recognition is like, you don't wait until you're like, oh, my team culture feels weird, or I haven't shouted out a challenge, or like show love every single day. Like make it a point to show gratitude, make it a point to show recognition, because people will feel that. And so the one thing I do at the start of every day, and we're actually going to do it in a second, is I send a daily message of gratitude. So I go to my phone or my Facebook or whatever, and I just pick anybody. It could be my mom or my grandmom. It could be a friend I haven't talked to in 10 years. And I just send them a message and I say, hey, just wanted to check in. I was thinking about you, and I wanted to say thank you for, you know, being a support system for me for this, or always being there even if we don't talk every day, or whatever it is. So I'm actually going to put I'm going to put a 2-minute timer on my phone, and I want everybody to do it right now. I want you to open up your phone and you pick anybody in your life. I don't care who it is, and just send them a message of gratitude saying that you were thinking of them and you wanted to either see how they were doing or say thank you for someone. And I'm going to, let me stick this timer on real quick. And we're all going to do it. This was something that they had us do at the Eric Ware the Go Pro conference. And it like, people were just in tears. They had them call on the phone. or whatever. All right, so I've started my timer. You have 2 minutes. If you finish with one person, you can feel free to send out another. But I want to show you that in just 2 minutes, you really can make someone's day or show appreciation for anything. So let me send mine out too. You get about 30 seconds. So if you've sent one, you can feel free to send another. All right, time on that. And you can finish it, obviously. But one thing about how good that made you feel right now, like that you know that what you could say could possibly make somebody's day. And at the same time, you know, imagine getting a message like that someone just says thank you. So I'm going to encourage you to like put that in your morning, like wake up and make that the first thing you do. You know, when you are living to serve other people, I think it makes everything a lot better. So I'm just going to kind of, all right, I'm just going to keep going. So the other thing I want to talk about is, you know, being the coach you wish you had for your team. So I love my coach to death, but there are some things I wish she had done, like different gifts or ways I was recognized. So think about all those things that you wish you had and then go for it. You know, be that for your team. And you have to model recognition. What you do, your team will duplicate. How you make your shout outs on your team page, how you recognize challengers, what you find important. Your team's going to rise to that level. If you never talk about recruiting coaches or shouting people out for recruiting coaches, they're not going to do it. So, you know, make sure you're modeling that for them, and publicly and privately show the love. So, you know, I like to show the love on my personal page for my team and my challengers. I like to do it on my team page. And I think it's also important to send private messages, you know, especially when people don't think anyone's watching. I sent one this morning to someone who I noticed had signed 2 coaches this week. She's like way deep down in my downline, but I was doing my sponsorship drill down and I saw it and I was like, you know what? And I just sent her a message and you could tell it was really exciting for her. So, you know, make sure you're doing it both ways. Okay, so the next thing I want to share is a couple ways I do things. I'm sure like on your team pages you guys do your weekly coach recognition. So this is just kind of what mine look like. The top one is our banner. Every Sunday I put our week at a glance, our coaches of the week, I call them, in our banner. And it's always for the weekly top producer, if we had any rank advancements, or a weekly team builder. Sometimes I'll think of other things to recognize. As well as I just use Canva for these, and I make some other top producers board. On the right is like one of our Success Club leaderboards from January that I had. We had a goal of helping one person a day, and so we focus on like checking in on how many lives we've changed every day. So these are kind of the things I get to use the back office for recognition. But I will tell you, I had a coach, and it kind of annoyed me at the time, but she messaged me and said, I noticed you didn't shout me out on a board, or like I missed her name or something. And she was peeved about it because she looked forward to that. And when we got down to it, she said, you know, I show it to my husband every week, and I really want, it makes me feel really good to be on the board. And like, I normally do them in the mornings on Thursday, but life happens sometimes. The baby needed something. I wasn't able to do it. And I had another coach be like, are you okay? I saw you didn't put up the shout outs on Thursday. And at first I was like, oh my God, like, let me have a life. And then I was like, no, people like look forward to that. And I think about the same, like when my coach shouts me out, like, I feel really good. And if she misses something, you know, it makes me feel bad. Like, I was like, wait, you didn't even notice? I work really hard because we want people to recognize. So if you're not doing something like this on your team page, I recommend it. It doesn't take long. You can obviously outsource and have somebody else do it. This is one of those things like I do on my own. I think it's important to know your data and your numbers. So this is just kind of how I do it. The other thing I started the past couple weeks is Coach of the Week, which is different because we recognize so much from the back office that I think it's important that we also recognize just other anecdotal stuff. And so each week my team gets to go to this is it, 3-question Google Doc, and they just nominate any other coach on the team that has just inspired them, and for whatever reason. And then whoever has the most votes is coach of the week. I send them a $5 Starbucks gift card. And we recognize them. I recognize them. Instead of doing like Transformation Tuesday, I've been doing Team Tuesday on my Facebook page. So it goes out publicly and on our team page. And I'm going to show you what one of those recognitions look like. I will say for this, it's new. I really only have a couple people who do it each week, but I'm not going to give up on it because I feel like it's one of those things you just got to remind people and get the momentum going until it becomes a habit. And then new coaches who sign on will think this is just something we always do. It's not new. So this is a sample of like what that post looked like. And this is what I posted to my team page. And what's cool is that, and this is something we used to do when I was a teacher, we would have the kids write little things, and these are statements that the team made on the Google Doc about this coach. So you get to see what other people say that they probably don't always say to your face. And I know this really made this coach's, day to hear all these amazing things that other people are saying about her, and didn't realize. And it's interesting as a leader to also see who stands out as a coach to the rest of your team, and why. And so that was one thing we've been tying in. Okay, so the other thing we started doing was Saturdays on my team page are pretty dry. Like people are doing life and like not really that engaged. And so I just kind of tried to throw this in. So this is an example of a shout out Saturday post. I just plop it up on my page in the morning and people get to shout out other coaches and for whatever reason. So basically it's like doing coach of the week, but publicly, and you can shout out people and the thread just goes crazy and people get to recognize each other. So that's another way I've incorporated that and it's helped my team culture. And then the other one I got from, it was probably on like the Beachbody Champions page, but ringing the bell, if you don't do that. And for every challenge pack that they sell, this is the post I put in my team page and I pin it to the top. They post that person's name of the life they've changed. And it's fun because this month is the first month people are like really getting traction and they're like posting a separate bell in a different thread and shouting their coaches out. Like, oh, my coach has got 2 successful points, so I'm ringing the bell for her, and like really starting to do it. And I think it's showing a lot of excitement and recognition for that as well. The last thing I wanted to share, of course the baby's like starting to move, is challenger shout outs, because these are so darn important, like to shout out our challengers. I always like to shout them out on my page when they send me their non-scale victories, things they're doing well. I always ask if it's okay that I tag them. Like, is it okay that I tag you? Or is it okay that I share this? Because some people aren't ready to share that, where I might do it anonymously. But if they are okay with me tagging it, it's an awesome way to kind of build them up as a coach to get some momentum going for them, like all these people starting to notice their journey. And then finding ways to just show gratitude for others. So an example is this Teacher Appreciation Week. And this I'm threw up a picture last night and I'm giving away a shaker cup to teachers. I was a teacher. I was like, why not? Nurse appreciations, Mother's Day coming up, think of ways you could appreciate anyone. And this shows on your social media, like you want to create value and recognize people just for being awesome. You don't have to do something. You just have to be you. And this also, like I had like 13 or 15 people already like tag a teacher in this, and it's helping me grow my network at the same time of other people that are similar. So think of different ways you can make other people's day that way. And that is all I had. But these are some things I've been doing recently that have really helped, I think, my team culture and just in general helping me grow my network. So if you guys had any questions or anything, there we go.
I love that. That was awesome, Cara. You guys, recognition is so important because it is. You feel good when people recognize what you do, and just like you said, or is that one time when they didn't notice it, or that you were late and they're like, where's it at? Or I show my husband like. So perfect. Julia, you've got a question? Awesome. Julia?
All right.
Somebody typed something in the chat. I can't see it.
Yeah, she said that she has a question.
You got it. Yeah. And honestly, it's all about having the vision of where you want to end up, right?
All right, you guys. Anyone else? Go ahead. Feel free. Oh, it won't let her talk.
Having this, you guys know each other where you're wanting to be.
You're unmuted.
One of the reasons why we're one of the most successful.
All right, you guys. Let's go ahead. Open up. Share what you guys do. Ask her any questions. Let's use this time to share best practices. What your coaches love.
All right.
I do similar things, but Cara, I really like the teacher appreciation thing because I know Nurses Week is coming up, so that's something that I could do for nurses.
Sorry, I have to run and get the baby. She's like screaming, but I'll be right back. If you have questions, I'll be right back.
So Shiloh, what else do you do with your team? I know you're growing your team like crazy right now.
For recognition?
Recognition, yeah.
Well, me and Cara are success partners, so I've adopted a lot of some of like her stuff. So I've done the coach. I do coach of the month only because I don't want to overwhelm myself with too much stuff. So coach of the month is good for me. I do that. I also do post of the week. So I go into my coaches that I know that are posting and are doing stuff that they're supposed to be doing, their vitals and stuff. And I go onto their Facebook on Sunday and I find a post that I think it's great, maybe sharing their story, or maybe they shared an opportunity for the coaching or whatever it may be. I take a screenshot of whatever I thought that was an amazing post, and I shout them out every Sunday saying that this was the post of the week. You know, you did an amazing job with sharing your story, coming out of your comfort zone or whatever it is. And I do that every Sunday. I do the leaderboard as well, and I can't think of anything else. Oh, and I do top 10 coaches of the month as well. And I base that at Successful Points, recruiting, and personal value. And I post that on my page as well. So I do a nice little picture of the top 10 coaches.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Amanda, what about you? What do you do? There you go. I unmuted you.
I'm trying to be really quiet because he's napping now. So I'm like not trying to talk. But Cara really got me thinking about, like, I definitely, for the month of May, already started doing the Ring the Bell that you guys had done. And one of the pieces of feedback that I got from my coach, or from one of the coaches on my team when I had like a leadership, like Q&A day, was to look for things to recognize besides Success Club, or like when somebody only hits, Success Club 1 or 2, just showing that they're making the effort and recognizing them for that. So that's why I kind of pulled that up. But now I have like a whole list of things that I'm going to get out there.
Did anybody answer Julia's question about like how to pull it? Did I miss that part? I just saw she said how to pull it. Did you guys answer that one or no? Pull the data in the chat. Julia, you can just, if you go to your sponsorship drill down and you go to like pick the columns, edit report, you can pick the columns that you want. So I just pick what I'm looking for and then I make it in Excel, and then you can just filter from top to bottom, like highest to lowest. And then it takes like, because I used to do the same thing. I was like looking through my sponsorship drill down. That was ridiculous. And then I was like, just export it as Excel, and then you can make like the highest success to lowest, and then you're just typing them in really quickly. So yeah, just change it to Excel and download it, and all the data's still there. It makes it easy.
Something that I was trying to get my coaches to go on, I use Snapchat a lot to break a lot of things down, and I've gotten so many people to end up committing from that. So I started, and a lot of the coaches, I don't like the sound of my own voice. I don't like, this, I don't like that. So I just, really try to just continue letting them know how much success I'm having towards there. And when I see that a new coach is, talking, I would shout them out in our chat or on our group page. Oh my God, you spoke on Snapchat. That's great. Or I saw you talking on Snapchat. Little things like that, especially when they go live, because those are things that I think that, I read somewhere, it's like if you're not flowing with the new things that are happening with social media, you're going to get left behind. And I really think that Snapchat is just a huge platform for them. Like, for instance, you don't want to be salesy and talk about the prices and things like that on social media. Or if you break it down like a price objection on social media in a caption, a lot of people are not going to read it. But if you're on Snapchat and if you tell them, like a lot of people like the way I do my makeup or my fashion, things like that. So if I tell them I'm doing a makeup tutorial on Snapchat, they'll go to Snapchat, but then I'll talk about, I'm having my shake, and then I'll talk about a price objection. So they listen to that afterwards. And so then they're like, getting to hear that verbal breakdown for them gets them to commit. So that's what I'm trying to get my coaches to do, get more on Snapchat. So they talk about things that they're comfortable with, like things that they know other than, like I got one girl that she's very experienced in tanning, like self-tanner. She used to work and manage a place. So I said, summer's coming, start talking about that, give a little hints there, and then start talking about other things on Snapchat. So I like to recognize them when they do things on there because I'm really trying to push that for them. And in my challenge groups as well, like she mentioned, you know, when somebody's hit the 5-pound mark or the 10-pound mark, but it just, like I had an Excel sheet where I was just tracking weight, and it became a lot, but you know, a lot of the girls were like, oh my God, some people didn't even realize, like, oh my God, I'm like 2 pounds away from getting out of the 150s. And when I recently started the Challenger Tracker app as well, when you go onto your portal, you can see how many times people have logged in, like workouts and Shakeology. So I'd come back into my challenge group on Facebook and I would recognize them in there for logging in 18 Shakeologies this month or 18 workouts. And they're like, you know, because again, when we talked about the codes, a lot of girls are not getting the codes, or like my phone is full and I can't download the app. So I'm really trying to push them to get on there, because for me personally, I know that seeing those 2 little dots to check in the workouts and check in Shakeology and having the countdown and things like that, it made me want to like not miss a day. And I know that the other girls felt that, so I was trying to get them more because that'll get them more committed. So that's a kind of shout out that I did in my challenge group.
I love it. Awesome, you guys. These are amazing ideas. They're super great.
I like the idea of taking it, because I sent a message last night to anybody who had logged X amount of Shakeologies on the app or whatever, and I got some text like, oh, thank you, that was so sweet. But I didn't even think about, like, because not everyone can see that, like, of just bringing it back to the page and just shouting people out that way. I'm going to steal that and use that today. I think that would be good, because I love the app, because I think it's like less cluttered than Facebook gets. So I really like it for that. But I feel like there are a couple things missing, and I feel like that's a really good way of pulling it in, just like picking out some points of data. Of like even we're only on our like 3rd day of our group, so even like something as simple as like you put your before and after pictures in or something like that. So and then that will remind everybody else, like, please go back in and put your before and afters and stuff. Yes.
I like the coach of, you guys mentioned coach of the week, coach of the month. I'm going to decide what I want to do now, because like you said, coach of the week is a little more overwhelming than, you know, maybe doing a coach of the month. And when I was working with a few other girls and we had a bigger team, we would decide who was going to be the coach of the month. We would decide a person, and we would kind of have like a newsletter, you know, where we talk about the challenge pack promotions, and like if we have any events going on within our team, things like that. We would do a coach of the month. And yeah, I think I was missing one thing, but I can't remember. But I think I'm definitely going to get back into that. And I like the post of the week too, because it takes a lot for them to kind of to post, to share their story. And I've been trying to teach them a lot about how to post and to make better type of collages, things that are going to attract you. And really, you know, I had a girl today that, you know, she's been struggling with pride subjection. So I said, okay, you know, try to make a post. And, you know, a lot of people just want to post a bag of Shakeology and then a really long caption that's just copied and paste as to, you know, something like that. I was like, no, you have to be relatable. You have to break down your caption. You have to find a good way to post a picture and to get that. So she really like trial and error. And that's something that I'm going to recognize her for later on, because, you know, she took a great picture, she did a great caption, and, you know, now she's just worried about all the likes and stuff like that. But I want to make sure I let her know, like, listen, you're doing a great job and you're very teachable with everything that I'm trying to let you know. And that'll make other girls, like, because a lot of the times too, like I have girls, I just did a fit club recently, and one girl was like, you know, I've been MIA because I feel really bad that I'm not in New York with you guys. Like, I'm by myself. So if anybody has any suggestions on how to make them feel more welcome, or just, you know, to get them more active, because they want to do things like that, like fit clubs, but they don't have anyone out there to do it with.
So there's no like super Saturday that's like near her, because me and Carol's are part of the Philly Market Council, and we've created like a crazy unity within like Philly and Jersey and Delaware. And as a market council, we have like monthly trainings and we have Zoom calls and we do a ton of things for people who are in the area. So maybe if she can contact the market council, maybe they're doing something similar.
It's so hard to get because she's out in Cali, so and that's a big place, and it's just hard. Like I try to not push on them, but like let them know, like, guys, this is just every 3 months, and a lot of people do have to drive like an hour or two, and it's like I understand that, but to experience something like that, it's going to make you want to commit to, just to feel that. It's going to give you that energy, like, it's not going to matter so much if you don't have, you're going to build this thing on your own. So I'm going to let her know about her market council out there as well.
You guys, that's so true. Leaders are born at events. Like, you cannot describe the feeling that you have at those Super Saturdays. Like, you cannot describe, like, you have to be there to experience it. So yeah, leaders are born at events. I can't tell you how many coaches are like, until I went to Summit, they're like, I was, maybe 1 foot in, maybe 1 foot out. And they're like, as soon as I went to Summit, all in. They're like, the experience of the Super Saturdays, the Summits, hearing those inspiring stories, like, you just can't describe that feeling. You have to be there to experience it. So yeah, awesome suggestion, Josira, about the market council and the Super Saturdays there. So
you're welcome. Also about like the post of the week, I always like to educate my coaches about just as far as like Facebook is a business. They are a business in itself. And if they post something and it's the wrong time or it was shown to like 5 people and no one liked it, then they're not going to get any likes or comments. I really want to reassure them that your post was good. You just need to post it at a different time or access to like it so that it gets pushed out more, because it's a really big thing of like a lot of the coaches are feeling awful because they're like, I didn't get any likes or comments or anything. But it's like Facebook has an algorithm. It's not your post. It's the time you did it and you didn't get any love for it. And, it's reassuring them that about their post as well.
I encourage my team to like each other's stuff as much as possible, because I tell them, like, go, if you see any, like, if any of my coaches I ever see anything, obviously I'm gonna like, but I tell the rest of the team, if you see anybody else on the team's post, any post at all, like or comment on it, because 1, it'll help it show up in news feeds more. 2, it makes it look like more people, like, I feel like if you have like a coach opportunity post and no one has liked it, other people might be like, this isn't real, like, type of a thing. Whereas if even nobody else has to know it's the whole team, like the whole team, and it makes it look a little more legit, and then it gives them a little bit of a boost that way too. So I always encourage, but I love the idea of that post of the weekend. I'm kicking myself because I just saw one on my team and made a really great post, and I was like, wow, I should message them and tell them that was a really great post, and now I can't remember whose it was. But like putting it out there on my page, I think I'm gonna keep like a lookout and just take a bunch of screenshots all week to share that, because I think that's the hardest thing.
Yeah, that's what I do. I like take screenshots and then I pick the best, or I save, like sometimes I save them and be like, this one was good.
One thing I did on Facebook is I created a friends list with just my coaches there, so I can separate that from everything else. So I have to find a way where I can just like write all their Instagram names down, because sometimes they don't post everything on both things, and I just want to be able to check it out on Instagram, like if they got a bunch of likes or a bunch of comments, and just show them maybe just the difference of here and there, things like that.
That's a good idea, of the like page with the coach, their interest list with the coaches. I would forget otherwise, like who I'm looking at. I don't scroll through Facebook a lot. I'm trying to run a business, so it's it's like I'm not doing that. But if I put it in my to-do list, like every day, just take 2 minutes to look through, I think I'll remember more.
I also did that with some elite coaches that I follow, like some of the top coaches this week. It's just different. I can just read through their stuff and get some ideas and just like share the bigger things that they're doing with my team and their page.
Okay, that's what I love about Beachbodies. I'm like, coaches are so willing to, like, everyone's just so willing to like help out and to like each other posts, comment, help each other. Like, we're all in this together, and that's why I love the team culture that we have among all the coaches. It's just awesome. You guys, any other questions or comments? Any other things that you do? It's been an awesome, great discussion.
I don't have anything, but can I make a plug since we're all in the region? If you have any coaches in Philly, we're hosting an event on Saturday a mastermind event. So we had like 10 tickets left. And I know people are bummed because our Super Saturday sold out. So but we have tickets for this on Saturday. And so get your coaches if you ever have any down in our area. I know Julia had said she comes to an event. I know Amanda, you're like in the area or whatever, but like send your people. We take good care of them. So send them to us if you have anybody down here.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. All right, you guys. Okay. I wanted to tell you, heads up. I will be gone. I'm going to be going to Nepal. That's why we don't have calls. But then the week that I get back on June 8th, we have an offsite meeting. And so you guys, I'm going to post in the group the different masterminds and just have you guys jump on, like, because I don't want you guys to go without a call for that many weeks. And so, yeah, I'm trying to think of what to do. Yeah, I'll figure that out. But I'll post like the times of the other groups and just like see if you guys wanted to join a call that week. For 2 weeks, there won't be a call at all. But then like the third week when I'm back, then I'll just, June 8th will be the one that I'd say, hey, jump on this call if you guys want. So yeah, so it's crazy, kind of exciting. All right, you guys, thanks so much for being on today. Cara, that was awesome. Thank you so much. Recognition is so key. It's so vital. That's why it's one of the behaviors. So thank you guys all for sharing your best practices and your tips and all that kind of stuff. Great call. I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.